next week, Laura Bush and Michelle Obama will meet with the spouses of the African leaders, and this will be about the importance of women, involving them in politics, involving them in educational initiatives in these different countries. But it's also a rare show of bipartisanship, right? Of coming together, of cooperation, and something that this town, after this week, surely needs.
A lesson for the men is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. I didn't want to say it, but...
Robert?
The Democratic presidential sweepstakes, we always hear about Secretary Clinton, and we've heard recently a little bit about Senator Warren. But here's another name to pay attention to. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. Members of her inner circle tell me that she won't run against Secretary Clinton, but should Secretary Clinton for some reason bow out of consideration, Senator Klobuchar is building up a national network, talking to donors, and later this month, she'll be in Iowa.
In Iowa. From Minnesota, moving over to Iowa. We'll watch that. Jonathan?
Two primaries this week to watch in Tennessee and in Kansas, both of which have incumbent Republicans who are more center-right, Lamar Alexander and Pat Roberts. National folks in the party feel like both of them are going to be okay. It's a matter of the margin in each. But keep an eye on these races because both of these states, Tennessee and Kansas, have moved sharply to the right in recent years. The Tea Party has really taken hold in both places. And there's some concern about Roberts because of the campaign he's run, whereas Alexander has run a better campaign. But keep in mind, Alexander has been targeted by Laura Ingraham and Sarah Palin over the immigration issue, which is, as we know, boiling right now.
We'll watch and see if there could be a surprise brewing there. Mike?
Well, John, I think the people around the table will agree that so far this year, winning the invisible primary has been Rand Paul, whether it's message, travel, buzz, but his biggest hurdle, what can keep him from being the nominee, the buzz from people like the people that Bob's been golfing with this week, is foreign policy. Right. And we've learned that he's going to try to fix that. He's going to give a speech about foreign policy late September, early October, National Defense University, and he's going to argue there that on the spectrum of people who want to intervene, people who want to be everywhere, the isolationists, which is what he's accused of, people who want to do nothing, he's going to argue that he's smack in the middle, the same place that George H.W. Bush was, that Reagan was, and that Ike was.
It'd be interesting to see if he actually says George H.W. Bush. If a guy running for the Republican nomination today mentions George H.W. Bush, I'll buy you a beer. But we'll keep an eye on that one. I'll close with this one. We're now 3 months out from Election Day. One big test to watch over the next 30 days, up to Labor Day, is how many of the Democratic-held Senate seats from blue states can Republicans keep as viable targets. Let me give you two to watch over the next month. Start in Oregon. Monica Webby is the Republican nominee. She lags right now in fundraising and in the polls, but the Koch brothers have just decided to make a big TV investment in that state to see if they can move the numbers. If they can't move those numbers by Labor Day, her outside money is likely to dry up, if not go away altogether. One more to watch is New Hampshire. A lot of Republicans in the state are concerned that Scott Brown, remember he's the former Massachusetts senator, has not been able to get closer in the polls to the Democratic incumbent, Jeanne Shaheen. She's had a consistent lead, but Republicans say it has begun to shrink a little bit, and they say, and I'm going to use a little New England term here, talking to one prominent Republican activist, he says their one hope continues to be in New Hampshire that President Obama has, quote, wicked bad approval numbers in the state. Keep an eye on those two because after Labor Day, when you get into the final stretch, a lot of big decisions have to be made, not only by the